we're going to play a really quick clip here from Family Guy. So if your family are in the room and you don't necessarily like that, maybe look away for a couple seconds. Then we're going to get into our next story.
Excuse me, ma'am. No porn at the bar.
Oh, it's okay. I'm transgender.
Oh, I had no idea. Do whatever you want all the time.
Yeah,
Basically.
that's not far from where we are. You know, let's go straight into this clip. Rob Primo shared this video of some of the madness that's going on at these Pride events, and they're truly horror stories. I mean, this is not surprising to anybody, but let's hear this interaction and the police response. This isn't Rob Primo himself. This was someone else filming this. Let's jump to the clip, and then we can react.
Is it locked?
Yeah, it's locked. I have the other key.
Yeah. What band are you on? In case something you need.
Yeah, I'll call him over here.
Okay. So telling me the chief of police is allowing naked people to go in the streets, and he's telling the police officers not to do their job. I got a minor here. I know there's a man exposing himself to the chief of police to say that's okay. It's not okay in my books, but I mean, like during Pride Week,
you have to take your badge number now. Like seriously, because I just told you, like a man exposed himself to my daughters.
I'm going to tell you, you're going to have a lot of people. It's going to be deaf here. No, I'm just saying.
The problem is no one speaks about it.
Yeah.
And the thing is, everyone's got to shut up.
Oh, I would love for you to make a difference and allow us to do our job.
As your mayor, because what's happening in this city is,
hey,
it's terrible. Even what they made
on
you guys
Sunday,
do.
you probably see the mayor out with them parading.
Like there it is there. That's okay.
This is Gay Pride Parade.
So that's okay.
And not in my book, but
Take him in there, and you're saying that's okay.
I'm not saying it's okay, sir.
Wow.
Yeah, so if the audio is a little bit hard to hear there, though, for folks, I think it was okay. But basically, a dad comes up to a police officer saying a man just exposed himself to their child. And then the police are like, well, it's not okay. And I agree that it's not okay. But like kind of during Pride, it's fine. Like they can break the law during Pride. That the Family Guy skit off the top was not off base at all. And this is absolutely shocking. But why is there this free pass standard at the same time that we have a ban on having a peaceful protest outside of a drag library? You can't have a sign opposing that. There's distances, there's limitations. You can't pray too close to an abortion clinic or have a sign. But you can, because it's Pride Week, because that is some sort of sacred expression as opposed to prayer and protest within society, you can expose yourself to children, and that's completely fine because it is Pride Week. I'd love to see the internal communications from police on basically look the other way when grown men are exposing themselves to children. It's wild.
Let's file for those.
Yeah, we will. Yeah,
we will. Yeah, it's interesting to see people outraged by some random horn honking, but they're perfectly fine with people exposing their genitals to small children on the streets, as is the case. They'll go to court, get injunctions, and then sue you if you cause them traffic inconvenience for a couple of weeks in your nation's capital while engaging in peaceful, non-vulgar protest.
Yeah.
But you could just helicopter your wiener around town. But as long as it happens during Pride Week, it's okay. Or Pride Month, Pride season, whatever whatever 3 months, 90 days of our lives have been co-opted by this nonsense.
Yeah, in what world is this okay in any other context? And it's wild. Like there's these crazy double standards, and it's weird how progressives embrace them. If I were to walk down the street bottomless in chaps any day of the week, I'd probably be arrested. If I tried to go to camp on some nice park and set up a nice little campsite, they would haul me out and arrest me. But apparently, if you're, depending on which community you're from, where you fit, the rules apply sort of subjectively. We need a standard. We can't apply different standards and expectations to different groups of people. That's not how society works. There needs to be sort of a standard rule of law. Obviously, there's accommodations for people dealing with whether it's mental illness or whatever else there may be, but there does need to be standards that we all comply with. And having a parade down the street that's effectively a rave and a nightclub scene going down the middle of the street in the middle of broad daylight does not give you a free pass to break the laws of the land. But apparently it does, and everyone is going along with this. Politicians won't comment on this. Police chiefs seem complicit in it. Why is there this hesitancy? And this goes back a little bit, but whether it be Pierre Poilievre, even Daniel Smith, folks that on many sort of fronts we've heralded, they're like not really willing to tackle this. They're just trying to steer clear. They're doing it because they think that's a way to get elected. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. It's easy to make someone look extreme for questioning the sort of status quo on these issues. But why did we get to this point, and why aren't politicians willing to step up and say, no, you can't expose yourself to children? That should be agreeable to everybody.
Right? Like, I can't believe that that's a controversial thing.
Yeah.
that like any reasonable, decent person, and if you are pro allowing people to expose themselves to children, well, I want to see what's on your computer now. Like, I really do. Like, this stuff would get you in a lot of trouble in the before times, but now it's just tolerance. And if you don't allow children to see grown adults' genitals, apparently you're just some sort of Christo-fascist, as they call me on the internet.
Well, and the thing is, it's so funny. Obviously, there's lots of Muslim-led protests against this sort of inappropriate push within schools. And the conversations we're having, they're so interesting. The Muslim communities leading these protests, they aren't calling for their faith to be taught in schools. They're calling for, well, if it is a faith-based school, if it's Catholic, Muslim, whatever, that's completely appropriate. That's where parents are calling to send their kids. What they're advocating for is for public education to focus on basics. They don't want Muslim values necessarily pushed in schools, or Muslim faith tenets anyways. They don't want Catholic faith tenets, and they don't want LGBTQ doctrination in their schools. They want to keep those things separate, and they want schools to focus on academics. So many people online are categorizing this as a sort of aggressive push of something, and that's what they don't understand. The folks on the left, they view everything as like an opportunity to push ideology. It's like, no, school is for learning about shapes and calculations and critical thinking. It's not about being brainwashed into specific narratives. That's why they don't understand, and they think that if it's not our way, it's going to be the Islamic way, or it's going to be the Catholic way. Well, if parents want that, that's fine. But what you should have in public funded schools that are open to everybody is just a focus on basics, academics, things that people need to learn to get by in their lives. We're so distracted with ideology. And frankly, it's ideology that is age inappropriate and kids don't care about. Kids want to learn basics. They want to have life experiences, and they want to basically learn how to become adults in the world. They don't want to learn about stuff that has no pertinence to them and is completely out of their developmental range. That's as simple as it gets.
Canadians are grappling with news blackouts on social media due to the Justin Trudeau Liberal government's Bill C-18. This new piece of legislation demands that social media platforms pay the government for news shared by users, which is an inconceivable task for companies like Meta and Google. So, as a result, they have decided to preemptively block all Canadian news content, including ours at Rebel News. In response to this, we have since teamed up with VPN provider Private Internet Access to ensure that you can continue to access all of our content across a broad range of platforms while also maintaining your privacy. For only $2 a month, you can bypass Trudeau's new censorship laws while you safeguard freedom of speech and continue to get the news that matters to you the most. Visit piavpn.com/rebelnews to take advantage of the 84% discount and 4 months free. As a bonus, PIA has all of its servers located in the United States, not China, and they automatically delete user data from their servers to avoid leaks and government subpoenas for information phishing expeditions. Don't delay. Head over to piavpn.com/rebelnews to stay up to date on the news in Canada and protect your access to it. Don't delay. You don't want to be left behind.